Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the October Wellness Webinar. This is Laura Miller. I'm a wellness program manager with HealthNet. Kristen Kayla, health promotion consultant with HealthNet, is also on the line. Just a couple of housekeeping items before we begin. As you know, participants, we always mute you upon entry to this webinar, so that helps us to avoid any background noise. And if you wanted to change your audio settings, you simply click on the join audio icon. At the end of the webinar, there's also going to be a quick 4-question anonymous survey. If you're having any technical difficulties, feel free to just chat directly to Kristen. And to do that, you simply just open the chat box. You hover over the Zoom toolbar. This is probably at the top of your screen. So you're going to see a little chat box icon there. And all you need to do is click on that. So Kristen will receive your messages in real time, and she'll respond to your message in the order that she received them. If you happen to be attending this webinar in a conference room, or you used a single webinar access with your entire team, please chat that number of attendees to Kristen. That way we can get a more accurate number on attendance. All right, the information provided in this presentation is intended solely for the general information of the audience. This is not medical advice and shall not replace consultation with your physician or other qualified health provider. If you happen to have any health-related questions or problems, please seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider. Today, our topic is take charge of your health. So this is what I'm going to be talking about today. I picked out several topics that mirror the image that's on this slide. So what is healthy living, and how do we actually take care or charge of our own health? So today I'll touch on each of the areas that you see here. It all starts with our daily activities and ways to build in healthy routines that become just that, routines, things we no longer have to even think about. It just becomes part of our daily activity. Of course, preventative care is an important part of taking charge of our health. I will also focus on heart health and ways to practice self-care. Now, often we're more successful in making lifestyle changes by taking small, measurable steps and having some support. That's critical as well. So I'm going to share with you some programs you may consider in your health journey. Preventative care and yearly wellness checkups. Of course, those are really important to help you stay healthy. Don't forget that when you practice healthy behaviors as part of your normal routine, this can play a really big role in your quality of life. Those little changes that you make, they actually can have a great impact on our total health. We know that healthy eating is all about balance. We also know that you can enjoy your favorite foods, but make sure to balance your diet with nutritious options as well, such as fruit and vegetables and whole grains. You want to avoid skipping meals. And so in order to do that, you want to keep your snacks on hand. Great snacks that especially contain protein. This will help you kind of fill you up so that you won't get hungry. And also your diet should be low in fat, high in fiber, and rich in vitamins. We want to, of course, keep moving. See if you can get some cardio in your day. This is simple, like maybe taking the stairs anytime you have the opportunity, or you step outside for a quick walk, during a break. Engaging in physical activity at least 3 times a week for 30 minutes. But you got to find something that you enjoy. So maybe you will exercise with a friend or a family member, or you're going to take Fido for a walk. Do what you can to stay inspired and also hydrated. So keep up your exercise routine even as the weather changes. Kind of need to have a plan for when the weather is cold, maybe wet, or those really hot days. Did you know that your furniture can actually give you a workout? You could use gallons of water as weights, or even your kitchen chairs to do a tricep dip exercise. Staying hydrated is really important. We know that there are a lot of health benefits to drinking water. This helps to keep your temperature normal. It actually lubricates and cushions your joints. It protects your spinal cord and other sensitive tissues. and it gets rid of waste through urination, sweat, and bowel movements. Did you know that 50 to 75% of your weight is water? So drinking, some plain old water, that's imperative to keeping your body working the best it can and staying hydrated. Now, if plain water isn't your favorite, you can add some flavor to your water, maybe even cut up some fruit and put it into the water. That will help up your intake. Replacing diet soda with carbonated water. So research suggests the brain reacts the same to whether it's artificial sweeteners or regular sugary sweets. So if you're not a fan of carbonated water, you could try unflavored tea, coffee, or fruit-infused plain water, which I had just mentioned. Quitting cold turkey, the sugary kind of stuff, that isn't realistic. But if you start decreasing the amount of diet soda and the artificial sweeteners that you take in, it'll do wonders for your health. Staying safe in the sun. So of course we want to prevent skin damage and aging. Protect yourself from those harmful UV rays. So it's always best to use a sunscreen and wear hats or other lightweight clothing every day. Make sure your sunglasses are offered both UVA and also UVB protection. Now, tobacco use is one of the main risk factors for certain cancers and other chronic illnesses. So if you smoke or use other forms of tobacco, quitting is the best you can do for your health. Get support though, because it's often very hard to do. What about our mental health? Be sure to take care of both your body and your mind. Put self-care at the top of your list. Practice breathing exercises and other relaxation techniques to manage stress. They can also help your emotional health. Set aside your electronic devices and be sure to get enough sleep. Most adults need 7 to 8 hours per night. And find other ways to relax when you can. Do you get a solid 7 or 8 hours of sleep most nights? Many of us don't, but experts say this is a marker of good heart health. Solid sleep doesn't just give you more energy, it can help with healthy eating goals as well. Did you happen to know when you're short on sleep, it reduces your body's production of hormones that suppress appetite, which can contribute to weight gain. You may have a higher risk of heart disease, obesity, and high blood pressure if you suffer from untreated insomnia or sleep apnea. Try to get to bed a half an hour earlier than your usual time. Turn off your phone. We promise you won't miss anything. And wind down with a book. You'll be falling asleep in no time. Now, to keep your weight from creeping up on you, set a weekly maintenance or a loss goal for yourself. Write it down and check yourself against that goal. Weigh yourself each week on the same day, at the same time, and wearing the same amount of clothing. That's for consistency. What about healthy breakfast? Eat something high in fiber that includes protein to keep you full and energized. If you start the day out right, you'll tend to eat better overall, and it helps lower your risk of diabetes and improves heart health. Not only that, but eating breakfast helps reduce that brain fog, so you'll be ready to go for those morning meetings. What about greens? Incorporate lettuce into your meals to add nutrients and water to help your diet. The fiber in lettuce helps fill you up, and it does so at just 20 calories per serving. Now, lettuces that are dark green and reddish in color are the most nutritious and the most flavorful. But even the popular pale iceberg lettuce, that even provides some water, some fiber, and folate as well. Try to find creative substitutions for unhealthy foods. Work to eliminate foods and snacks that you buy regularly that are high in calories but low on their health benefit. So eat them less often. It's sort of like as an occasional treat. Try using low-fat dairy, whole grains, healthy oils like avocado and olive oil, and natural sweeteners like fruit instead of high-fat or sugary alternatives. Now, you may have already heard about that book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Well, I was wondering if there were seven habits of healthy people. So it turns out some of these I've already discussed in the previous slide, like hydration, moving, and sleep. But here are a few more. Eating lean protein. So when it comes to eating meat, the fewer the legs, the better. So red meat sources have 4 legs, white meat sources have 2 legs, and fish have no legs. So fish and chicken are your best sources of lean proteins with less saturated fat. Eating natural food. So what you want to do is focus in on whole natural foods. Steer away from those highly processed foods. This way you'll be getting more fiber, vitamins, and nutrients from the whole foods. So when you go grocery shopping, think in terms of ingredients. You don't want to eat foods packed full of ingredients you can't pronounce. Instead, buy foods that are the ingredients. In today's culture, stress seems to be just a normal part of life. But learning to manage stress can help you live longer and a healthier life. Find something outside your job and sometimes even outside your family in which you can invest a little of you time. Look for activities that are relaxing, enjoyable, and allow you to tap into your creative side. Also, having a purpose. Always find ways to be working toward a cause bigger than yourself. Now, this may be in your career or in volunteer work or by investing time in someone else. We're not meant to live alone or isolated. And as we age, having a purpose can help us maintain our independence and freedom, as well as our cognitive skills and memory. Now, this last couple of slides, if these lists seem overwhelming, then break it down even further and focus on making one small change or adopting one of these habits each month. Living a healthy life takes dedication and discipline, but a healthier life is not out of reach for anyone, no matter where you may be starting. So here's an example of how to do it. Some people journal or they have a vision board. So you're actually going to get a copy of this when we do the reporting, send it out. But in the boxes on the right, you simply jot down some specifics. What are you trying to create? So some things might be things like, well, what do you want to be part of your routine? Well, maybe it's exercise or time for reading or just more time with the kids. But what gets in the way of you reaching these goals? So maybe you have to work overtime, or you need new reading glasses, or you're just too tired. So you're writing down kind of what the barriers are, and then how are you going to address these barriers? Maybe you're going to start with a 30-minute walk, or maybe you're going to go to bed a little bit earlier. So jot down on a calendar or on your phone, and even time on your work calendar as busy or unavailable. So this helps you get that dedicated time into your schedule. And it can be specific, such as walk the dog, or stretch, or just take time for me. Even just a reminder to start the wind down process before heading to bed. Is there any support that you might need? Are there some chores that you can delegate? Tasks that need to be done but could be done by somebody else to free up that time. And when we do these things, how are you going to feel rewarded for your hard work? How will you treat yourself? So, for instance, maybe if you walk 30 minutes 3 times a week for 2 weeks, then you can maybe treat yourself to a massage or a movie. So remember these key facts. We don't all have the same schedules or responsibilities, and some of us struggle with certain parts of daily life more than others. So all healthy routines should include eating a nutritious diet, exercising, getting enough sleep, but no 2 routines will be exactly the same. In fact, your routine may not even be exactly the same day, every day. So change up your day-to-day routine all at once probably won't end up with lasting results. So you just want to pick one small thing each week to work on. It could be adding something new or positive or cutting out a bad habit. Small changes, like I said earlier, really do add up. And you probably already have some habits that you already worked into your routine. Like maybe in the morning you're drinking a cup of coffee. So try adding a new habit to an existing one. For example, if you wanted to read more, maybe what you could do is combine those. So you would have your coffee and read for 10 minutes while you're having your coffee. Also, make swaps on things. So think about the things that you do during the day that maybe aren't so healthy and try to swap them out with some better behaviors. For example, if you feel sluggish in the afternoon and you just reach for that sugary snack for a quick pick-me-up, try taking a brisk walk instead. That's going to get your heart pumping and those endorphins flowing. You know, life is hectic. So you may be tempted to skip out on some new parts of your daily routine. So by doing things like prepping meals ahead of time, picking out an outfit the night before you have to go to work, or having an alternative home workout option for the days where you can't make it to the gym, this helps to set yourself up for success, even when you're in a hurry. Even if it's just 15 minutes a day, try to set aside some time to do something fun or relaxing. This will release the chemical messengers in the body that are good for your physical and mental health. And don't beat yourself up. Making life changes can be hard, and you might forget to do something. That's one of your, because if it's a new routine, especially if you haven't done it, okay? You don't have to be perfect. Just try to do better the next day. Now, the right preventative care at every phase of your life helps ensure your good health. We know that health problems are easier to treat when they're caught during an early stage. So screenings can help check for illness before symptoms appear or even progress. Getting treatment, for example, for cancer, still in its early stages is vital, since that's when treatment can be most effective. Always check with your doctor for tests that are best for you at your given age, health history, and immediate family's medical history. Now, this list that you see here is a suggested list of screenings and services. Always check with your doctor to determine which ones are right for you. Of course, an annual checkup, so visit with your primary care provider or physician at least once each year so you can assess your current health status. Your doctor can suggest next steps to keep your health best. Maybe a flu shot, a pneumonia shot, or COVID vaccine or booster is right for you to protect yourself and your loved ones. Also, if you plan to travel out of the country as the holidays are coming, you may need additional vaccinations. Always ask your doctor at your annual checkup if a depression or anxiety screening is something you should have. Your mental health is just as important as your physical health. A mammogram is a preventive screening for breast cancer. Once you turn age 40, talk with your doctor to find out when is the best time to get your first mammogram. After that, get your mammogram every 1 to 2 years, or as often as suggested by your doctor. The same is true for prostate cancer screening. At age 40, talk to your doctor about testing. Colorectal cancer screening. So this is a routine screening, should begin at age 45. Now, there are several screening options available, including a colonoscopy or an in-home option. Talk with your doctor about your options. Cervical cancer screening or Pap test. This is routine screening, should take place every 3 years, starting at age 21. If you have a teen at home, urge good choices and inquire about what cancers can be prevented with the HPV vaccine. Don't forget about our bones. So bone density testing is used to determine bone loss. As we age, our bones can become brittle. And don't forget about hearing, your vision, and dental checkups too. Again, always check with your doctor to determine which screenings are most appropriate for you. Just as the title suggests, your health plan will have preventive health guidelines that provide a list of suggested screenings. Use these guidelines to remind you to schedule well care visits with your family doctor. Note that these guidelines are refreshed often and they may change. So therefore, you should always follow the care and advice of your doctor. And taking charge of your health also includes the proper use of medications. Taking your medication as prescribed by your doctor is important for your health. It can help you feel better and manage your condition. But if you don't take your medication the right way, it may not work as well as it should. So make sure to take it about the same time and under the same circumstances as directed by your doctor. For example, maybe you need to take it at night or in the morning with or without food. You should also be aware of any food or liquids to avoid while taking medications. For example, alcohol or citrus, such as like grapefruit. Always read the label. It's always good to check with the pharmacist, especially if this is a new medication. You'll want to avoid any interactions with other medications you may be taking. That also includes things like vitamins, herbs, and supplements. And set a reminder or use a pill keeper as a reminder of when to take your medication. Personally, if I'm only taking medication for a short amount of time, like maybe like an antibiotic or something, I will actually just write it down in the kitchen that I'm taking it. But I will also, if I am taking a medication like I take every day, then I use a pill keeper, and then I just make it part of my morning routine. Also, know when you might be running low, especially if you're going to be going on vacation as the holidays are coming. So make sure you have enough so that you don't run out. And check with your health plan for the mail order pharmacy service. This saves you time and money, especially if it's a medication that you take all the time. Using a mail order pharmacy allows you to order a certain amount of drugs, like 90-day supply for one copay. And then also you can have it delivered to your door. This means fewer trips to the pharmacy. So remember, taking your medication properly is important for your health. And if you have any questions or concerns, don't hesitate to talk to your doctor or your pharmacist. If you have a chronic condition, you may be taking medication on a regular basis. For example, if you're taking diabetes medication, taking them the way your doctor prescribes can keep your blood sugar at a healthy level. These medications may also help lower your risk of kidney damage, nerve pain, or blindness. Now, if you're taking blood pressure medication, remember that lowering your blood pressure is one of the most important things you can do to reduce your risk of stroke. Plus, it also may help lower your risk of having a heart attack. If you've had a heart attack, taking your beta blocker medication as advised by your doctor can help lower your chances of having another one. If you have diabetes and heart disease and or high blood pressure, being on an ACE inhibitor and a statin can help reduce your risk of a heart attack. So make sure to check with your doctor. Now, if you have diabetes with no history of heart disease and you're over age 40, statins can reduce your risk of a heart attack. Also, using your asthma or COPD medications as prescribed can help control the symptoms of shortness of breath, coughing, wheezing, or life-threatening flare-ups. Now, taking antidepressants as prescribed on a routine basis can help you feel more like yourself. They can also prevent another bout of depression, but it can take 2 to 6 weeks to start feeling the benefits of the medication. So talk to your doctor if you're experiencing unwanted side effects of any medication. Working together with your doctor is the best way to take charge of your health. Who knew that brushing and flossing could help your heart? The researchers report that gum disease caused by poor oral hygiene can not only result in pain and, of course, tooth loss, but it can also lead to heart disease and stroke. Now, researchers don't quite know yet exactly how gum disease affects heart health. Maybe it's the bacteria from infected gums that may enter the blood and attach to fatty plaque in the heart's blood vessels. Or the inflammation from gum disease may increase plaque buildup. Regardless, take care of your teeth and your heart at the same time. Just like oral health, don't forget about your eyes too. You may think, I can see perfectly. I've got 20/20 vision, but that doesn't necessarily mean your eyes are perfectly healthy. Some serious eye diseases have no symptoms. And we know that with early detection, that can help prevent complications down the road. Some common eye diseases, such as glaucoma, that's where the pressure in the eye builds up, or cataracts, that's where the lens of the eye becomes cloudy over time, or people with diabetes may not experience symptoms until vision loss actually occurs. Now that's called diabetic retinopathy. We also know that eye exams are important for kids too. Routine eye exams can help ensure their eyesight is developing correctly. Vision and learning are connected. So eye exams help uncover issues such as nearsightedness or farsightedness. So take charge of your health and don't put off an eye exam. Give yourself some peace of mind. Now, every heartbeat pumps blood throughout the body. That pumping puts pressure on the vessels, on the blood vessels. This is normal. But when that pressure is too high, it can be very serious. It's important to stay current with your health screenings and your preventive care. So this is true if you have high blood pressure. So having high blood pressure can put you at risk for heart disease, kidney problems, and stroke. You may not feel any symptoms if your blood pressure is too high. That's why it's important to have regular checkups. Be sure to work with your doctor to keep your blood pressure under control. Sometimes, when we go to the doctor's office, we have this thing called white coat syndrome. That causes your blood pressure to rise simply because you're in the doctor's office. So before you leave, if that happens to you, before you leave your appointment, ask your doctor to measure the blood pressure again. So if your blood pressure is too high, make sure to return to your doctor soon after your visit to ensure that your blood pressure has returned to normal. You would need more than, one or two really high values, blood pressure results, in order to be considered for high blood pressure. So once you have reached a normal blood pressure with lifestyle changes or potentially medication, if you have a high blood pressure, so having those regular checkups with your doctor is really important, okay? You want to keep your heart healthy. Also, you want to know what the numbers are. So a normal blood pressure has a top number of less than 120 and a bottom number of less than 80. So it's really important overall to keep your blood pressure below 140/90. What do these numbers mean? Well, the top number is your systolic pressure. That is the pressure when the heart squeezes or contracts to pump the blood through the body. At rest, your systolic blood pressure should be below 140 to avoid too much strain on your heart and the blood vessels. Now, the bottom number is the diastolic pressure. So this is the pressure when the blood exerts inside the arteries when your heart is at rest. So like a little mini rest in between the beats. So this is when your heart is filling with blood. So your diastolic pressure should be below 90. Now, if you happen to be measuring your blood pressure at home, you've got a machine yourself, you want to follow these tips for getting an accurate blood pressure reading. So 30 minutes before taking your measurement, you want to avoid smoking, alcohol, caffeine, or exercise, because that can make your blood pressure rise. And so you want, of course, to get an accurate reading, as much accurate reading as possible. Also, empty your bladder. When the bladder is full, it actually puts pressure on the kidneys, which can lead to higher blood pressure readings. You want to sit calmly in a chair without talking. Take a few minutes to relax. You want to rest your arm on a flat surface at heart level. Sit with good back support with your feet flat on the floor, no crossing your legs. Crossing your legs actually increases the pressure on the arteries and can give you a false higher blood pressure readings. You don't want that. Place the cuff directly above the bend in your elbow and on a bare arm. So this avoids false readings from clothing that may be a barrier, like if you're wearing a thick sweater or such. And also wait at least 1 minute sitting still between the measurements. Taking charge of your health means more than just physical health. It also includes your mind, body, and spirit, a holistic view of well being. And self care is an important component. So often, with our busy lives, we tend to forget about taking care of ourselves. So, what does it mean to practice self care? Well, self care is a broad term for anything we do that for ourselves. So, solely for the purpose of looking after our body or mind. It means looking after yourself physically, emotionally, and socially. And there are many forms of self care, from getting enough sleep to eating well to taking up a hobby that helps you relax. Self care is very important as it ensures we're doing all the things our body and mind need in order to function at their best. Unfortunately, self care is often thought of as a luxury or an indulgence rather than something as an everyday and just as essential as brushing our teeth. Make yourself the priority. Otherwise, end up feeling stressed, burnt out, tired, or you may even get sick. Now, when we talk about emotional self care, life happens. And it's important to have a healthy ways to deal with difficult emotions, things like stress, anger, and sadness. If we let feelings of worry and anxiety build up, we can end up feeling overwhelmed. When we talk about emotional self care, we're talking about the things you do to help manage these emotions. For some people, it might be physical activity, going for a run or walking the dog. This helps release some of those restless energy and increase dopamine levels. That's the happy hormone. And other people, it might be doing something that they find relaxing or enjoyable, like reading a book, baking a cake, or doing some artwork. Now, our relationships with other people have an important impact on how we feel. If you've ever had an argument with your best friend, then you know leaving it can feel that if the end you leave it, you may feel sick inside. Now, if you find yourself that often feels stressed or anxious after spending time on social media channels or in group chats, it might be a sign that you need to take a small break. The important thing to remember is that we must change the way we think about self care. If you're feeling tired or stressed out, but keep putting things off, the things that you enjoy, and focusing on the things that I need to do this or I need to do that, this could be a good sign that you're not putting yourself first. Try starting something like small. Start out small, setting 30 minutes maybe every day, time for just you to look after you. Set goals and commit to healthy habit changes. This is very helpful for improving our health and our overall health of our family. Take it one small goal at a time. I know what you're thinking. Our crazy, busy life, stressful jobs, and the love it or hate it technology-driven society puts self-care or me time last on our agenda. Not to mention the guilt that comes with taking time to care for ourselves. But here's a list of some practical ways that you can practice self-care. You know how important sleep is for our emotional and our physical health. Think about your nightly routine. Also, watch what you eat before bed. That can kind of keep you up and awake. Heartburn and things like that. It's the same with what you are watching. If you're watching maybe a scary movie or the news, that can set you up for a restless night of sleep. So keep your room dark and quiet. We know that exercise and movement, a class, or even just a stroll around the neighborhood, or a yoga video, or stretches, think of ways to add movement to your routine. This helps with managing stress, boosting your mood, and your mind and body will benefit. You know that choosing healthy foods is good for us as well. Some amazing self-care foods include things like fatty fish, think of salmon, blueberries, nuts, green leafy vegetables, and broccoli. Here's a huge one. Learning to say no. Now that can be really hard, especially when we feel obligated to say yes when someone wants our time or energy. So practice politely saying no, and you'll have more time for self-care. Even if you're not stressed, just getting away for a few days can help you disconnect, relax, and recharge. That doesn't have to be an expensive getaway. Just drive to the next town or see the sights or go camping. Studies have shown that just getting outside can help reduce fatigue, depression, and burnout. Take a walk or play in the garden or some other form of physical activity that you enjoy. Now, pets provide unconditional love and companionship. If you don't have a pet, look for volunteer opportunities to be around animals. Of course, these were just a few examples. There are many, many more. Now, what have we learned this year in our webinars that can help us take charge of our health? Let's take a quick look. In February, we talked about what heart healthy eating looks like. Cutting back on fatty meats and high-fat dairy products. It's limiting foods we really like, things like pizza or burgers or creamy sauces or gravy. Replace the saturated fat with healthier, unsaturated fats like seafood, nuts, seeds, avocados, and poly and monounsaturated oils. Don't forget to read the nutritional label and choose foods that are lower in sodium. Look for foods that are labeled low sodium or no salt added, especially when you're looking for things like canned soups, canned vegetables, packaged meals, or other snack foods. And we don't really get enough fiber, so you want to eat vegetables, fruits, beans, and whole grains to add fiber to your diet. These types of foods make you feel full since it takes the body longer to digest those. And when it comes to dairy, look for fat-free or low-fat options. It's always a good idea to vary your protein as well. Look for fish, shellfish, lean ground chicken or turkey. Look for lean meats like pork shoulder, beef sirloin, or lean ground beef. When it comes to ground beef, people go with a higher fat content, because they'll save money on the budget. But then after you're cooking it, make sure to drain that excess fat or rinse it in water to get rid of it. Look for things like beans, peas, and lentils. Everything from black beans, pinto beans, kidney beans, chickpeas, split peas, lentils, many, many more options there. Eggs are also a good source of protein, so don't forget about those guys. And so are unsalted nuts, seeds, and nut butters like almond or peanut butter. Just look for varieties that are low in sugar, and then just watch the portion size on those as well. And also tofu is a great one to include as well. In March, we had a presentation from Dr. Brast from John Muir Health. He gave us some tips on how our thoughts and our bodies are connected. So some of these tips he covered included the following. A good mind-body connection has an amazing impact on our immune system. So try to keep a positive thought process. We all know life is hard and we are exposed every day to negativity. It's all around us, especially in the news. It's actually mostly bad news. So as you can imagine, trying to sleep, especially after watching the news, can be a problem. And don't get stuck on the small upsets. Address it directly and move on. That prevents your mind from churning on the situation. Some people are just really negative. They like to tell you all about their problems or complain about everything. This can bring you down. So you want to limit contact with those types of folks and surround yourself with positive people. Maintaining your physical health, so you're looking for opportunities to improve movement and healthy eating. And also look for good things that are going on in our society. You want to focus on those things to help you feel happier. And we learned that balancing work and life in the Balancing Work and Life webinar, that work and life do not balance. They coexist. So it's a work-life integration is a better way of looking at it. But taking charge of your health means we need to make time for what really counts. We fill so many roles in our lives. You might be a partner, a friend, an employee, a parent, a caregiver. Every day, your days may be filled with deadlines to meet and details to remember. So, how do we stop, take a step back, and prioritize so that we have time for what really counts? It all comes down to time management. Maybe that means scheduling time for yourself on your calendar, putting a lunch break into your work schedule. So the benefits, including being able to schedule some me time, being able to say yes to fun, family, and friends. Can you imagine what it would be like to be able to work on one thing at once without any distractions? Wouldn't it be great to no longer feel rushed or chaotic? You might have some energy to do the things that matter to you most. That's another great benefit. Now, employee assistance programs can be helpful as well. If you're struggling or trying to do it all and you need some professional help, if your employer offers an employee assistance program, you can often find or actually receive a certain number of free sessions. You'll get paired with a counselor who can address your specific needs in a variety of areas that you see listed here. As we discussed, taking charge of your health includes healthy eating. So John Muir Health gave a great presentation on how to eat healthy on a budget. There's a misconception that eating healthy can be expensive, but with the tips listed here, it doesn't have to be. Seasonal produce is often fresh. Better still, it's often on sale. Don't get caught with impulse buys. Shop wisely with coupons or items that are on sale and have your budget in mind. Shop once and then you can cook all week. Make a little extra for dinner because those leftovers make great lunches. Vegetarian meals are often budget friendly and always a good way to vary your protein sources. Don't be afraid to comparison shop. It's worth shopping around. Look for new and interesting meals to prepare with ingredients you already have. Go shopping in your pantry. You can cut down on food waste by limiting what you purchase to foods that you know you will eat them before they go bad. Modify recipes. Look for similar items that may be healthier and on sale. Don't be afraid to substitute ingredients in a recipe for a healthier option. For example, ground chicken or turkey in place of ground beef, or sweet potatoes or russet potatoes. Sweet potatoes actually don't raise the blood sugar nearly as much. And if a recipe calls for zucchini, but you have broccoli, that's a good opportunity to do a substitution. Use what you have. We also learned this year about the positive effect of being in nature. It has a very positive effect on our mind, body, and our spirit. And it doesn't take a lot of time. Just get outdoors or look at nature pictures, videos, or even read a book about our natural environment. Maybe you can explore your neighborhood or get to a park. Green and blue spaces, which are the aquatic environments, help us to connect with the natural world, build our resilience and connection to everything around us. Because the benefits provided by parks and green spaces are typically free and publicly accessible, these spaces are especially important for our physical health. They create environments that support active lifestyles and improve access to exercise opportunities. Just like a little exercise is better than nothing at all, we should take advantage of green and blue spaces whenever we can. Let's take a look at some common well-being programs that can help you take charge of your health. Check with your insurance company for similar offerings. How can we take charge of our health if we don't even know how we're doing? So health risk assessments are designed to give you a snapshot of your health status in key areas such as nutrition, exercise, emotional health, and financial well-being, as you enter information about your behaviors and your conditions. If you know your numbers, such as your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your height and weight, that's even better. This is a great starting point. Your results may include recommendations too. Use them as a guide and consider picking something you may be interested in improving on, such as eating more fruits and vegetables, or walking more days of the week, or getting a good night of sleep on a regular basis. Health coaching is a great way to get support when you're trying to make lifestyle improvements, such as maybe managing stress, eating healthier, or quitting smoking. Support with family, friends, and a coach can keep you motivated. You don't have to do it alone. Now, most health plans will offer a tobacco cessation program. These type of programs are designed to help users who are ready to permanently break their addiction to tobacco. Most well-being programs also include some type of a healthy eating program. Eat Right Now focuses on helping participants with healthy eating habits rather than dieting. The topics include things like triggers, cravings, healthy habits, and emotional eating. This program is for HealthNet members, so make sure to check with your health plan for similar programs. Life is stressful. If managing stress is part of your plan to take charge of your health, look for programs that focus on ways to de-stress and help you stay in the moment. Often these programs will have useful tools, videos, and modules that guide you to build resilience and decrease chronic stress. This program is open to both HealthNet and non-HealthNet members. Thank you so much for your attention today. These next slides are programs that help HealthNet members stay on track with their health. In addition to the programs I already reviewed, our members can find wellness programs and other resources when logging into their HealthNet account. I already mentioned health coaching, but if you have a health concern, our HealthNet members can call the nurse advice line to speak to a registered nurse. You know, we offer discounts to our members, Weight Watchers, weight programs such as Weight Watchers, discounts on chiropractic and acupuncture services. Maybe you need an extra pair of prescription sunglasses or computer glasses. We also have discounts on hearing aids, including the screenings, and the fitness club through the Active and Fit program. $28 a month gets them access to all the gyms in the network. No contract, change gyms as often as you like. HealthNet offers a variety of online health challenges through our wellness platform. The ongoing monthly challenges, we always have something on stress, sleep, and steps. And these are actually open to everyone. For HealthNet members, as we approach the holidays, we have Give Thanks. This is an online health challenge that starts in November. A daily gratitude practice can help you become happier, healthier person. Basically, you reflect on at least one thing, big or small, you're grateful for each day. You can write it down in a journal or say it out loud, or just sit in quiet reflection. So that'll be going on in November. Next month, we'll bring you Healthy Gut, Healthy You. This webinar will focus on the connection between your gut microbiome and your health. You'll learn specific signs that your gut bacteria may be imbalanced and ways to improve good gut bacteria in your diet. So we hope you will join us next month. Thank you so much for your time today. Please remember, if you attended this webinar in a conference room or used a single webinar access with your team, please chat that number of attendees to Kristen. And as always, everyone who registered for this webinar will receive a link to the recording in just a few days. Thank you so much. You may now exit the webinar.